Mic check, mic check. What's going on, world? You already know it's your boy SB, and we are back with another episode of the Sauce Files. As always, I hope you're doing what you gotta do to get to where you gotta be. Today's episode is one I think we can all benefit from, and I hope it inspires you to begin to be proactive and conscious about the decisions you make. When it's all said and done, when we have to take accountability for our lives, it will only boil down to one question. Did I do my best to fulfill my purpose? As always, we got to kick the conversation off with a quote. And today's point of reference comes from the OG Zig Ziglar. And it reads, your life is a result of the choices you have made. If you don't like your life, start making better choices. As I said a few moments ago, when it's all said and done and we have to take accountability for our lives, it's really going to boil down to one question. Did I do my best to fulfill my purpose? I don't know about you, but I'm not trying to wait until I'm 70 years old to start thinking about all the things that I could have done, but was too scared to do. I refuse to let my best years slip because I'm scared to fail. I also refuse to let the same happen to you. There's only two ways that you get to where you want to go. That's by your choices and the action behind said choices. Listen, if you're comfortable with the bare minimum, you can end this episode here because this episode is only for the people who are trying to maximize the most of their life. Too many people out here have surrendered their minds to the AI machine, and it's truly sad to see. Too many people have surrendered their right to make decisions by expecting a man to keep their best interests at heart. All of these labels and isms are so confusing. I don't even know how motherfuckers keep up with all these labels. But what I do know is if everybody dropped said labels and just made the choices that they are in alignment with their goals, the world would be a better place. However, the disconnect though is that most people choose to stress on the things that they can't control, and they spend every ounce of their energy in a state of fear or in panic. That they forget that everything that they're stressing about is all mental. People will get mad at millionaires all day and will assume that they were born with a silver spoon in their mouth. While that may be the case in a small percentage of successful people, that isn't the case for all of them. Some of them started out just like us, trying to figure out how to get from point A to point B. They chose a target and dedicated their entire being to reaching that target. The problem is, everyone expects this journey to happen overnight or on their timetable. But the truth is, it hardly ever works like that. Every day you show up to work on your craft or your dream is an opportunity to get better. You can't expect to get in these rooms and you haven't done the work to get in there. Yes, God will absolutely prepare a table for you in rooms you didn't think you would be in. But as we discussed before, he also won't set you up for embarrassment. You got to make the choice every single day to build your kingdom. Every choice you make has to be centered around the direction you want to go in life. Many people know this, but it's not until later that they decide to do something about it. But my question is, why wait when you can do it now? When you get 100% honest with yourself, you will see that whether you get to your dreams or don't is 100% up to you, like I said in the last episode. Also, like we talked about in the last episode, some people are trapped in their mental cages because of fear and insecurities. But on this journey, there is no time for either. You're either confident that you're doing your best every day, or you're sitting on a bench watching other people do what you know needs to be done. For the longest time, that was me. But everything changed when I realized that my choices is what was stopping me from getting to where I want to be. Every single day, we need to be proactive in our decision making. Every single day, we need to understand that in order for us to get to where we're going, we have to make the hard choices every day. We have to choose giving thanks over complaints. We have to choose to be grateful for the day. We have to choose to set aside time to do what needs to be done. We have to choose what's more important. These things are mandatory, and you can ask anybody that's successful. The choices you make is really what determines if you'll make it or not. Sometimes we got to turn social media off and go outside to touch some grass. It's easy to get caught in this web of illusion, But to get back in tune with ourselves and returning the power to its rightful owner is the moment of liberation that you're looking for. Majority of the thoughts that you think aren't really yours. That's why they make you uneasy at times. That's where the anxiety comes from, and that's where the depression comes from, because you're on a path that's not really yours. You're just taking it because you're trying to get something else instead of what's for you. All of that to say, it's time that we start making better choices. It's time that we stop letting society and social media dictate what we deem as important and just do what makes us happy. If you're content with your life, good for you. If you're not content with your life, it's your job to find ways to get there. Every day is a learning process because you learn something new every day. But we all have smartphones in our pockets. If you're unsure how to get from point A to point B, our greatest free resource is Google. The days of making excuses of why we can't get somewhere because of resources is over. I believe I've said this one time before, but I feel like I got to say it again. The days of making excuses of why we can't get somewhere because of resources is over. You can build almost any business for free. And at some point, you will have to put your own money up to make certain moves. But as I always say, the beginning of the journey isn't about if everybody else supports you. It's about if you support you. So with that being said, it's time to start making better choices. If you know you don't need to be somewhere, don't go. If you know you don't need to hang around these people, go do something else. If you know it's work that needs to be done, go do it. If you know it's time to heal, stop delaying the process because you're afraid of those skeletons. My G, the only way to is through. We all have to go through a season of reorganizing our priority list. But it's single-handedly the most important thing you'll ever do to get to your goals. You know what choices need to be made to get to your goals, and it's time to start choosing. It's time to get serious about your life and the decisions you make. The moment you let go of social media's way of thinking or your parents' way of thinking and begin to embrace your way of thinking, you will see a dramatic shift in your life. As always, I hope this message spoke to you in a way that inspires you to make necessary changes in your life. I hope this message brings you clarity and pushes you to embark on your journey of self improvement. Once you get better, so does everything around you. It'll take time, but in the end, when you get to where you're going, you'll be glad you started when you did. So that concludes today's message, man. As always, I hope I said something that was meaningful to you, that'll help you get you started on your journey. If you haven't already, please feel free to like, comment, and subscribe to the campaign. If you enjoyed this episode today, make sure you share it with the homies. 2026 is going up, dog. I'm telling you, 2026 is going up this year. Has been amazing. A lot of great things have happened. A lot of great things are continuing to happen, and I'm excited to continue to grow this campaign, not just for y'all, or excuse me, not just for myself, but for y'all, just for you to see that it's not too late to chase your goals. And it starts by making the right decisions today. So with that being said, man, it's your boy. Scroll that shit up. You deserve it. Remember, get lifted, stay inspired. I'ma holla at you. Peace.